Hey mama, welcome to the One Income Family podcast. Are you tired of trying to figure out what to serve morning, noon, and night? Do you wish that groceries were cheaper and my goodness, less of a hassle to get? Are you ready for a simpler, cost-effective way to shop for your groceries? Me too, mama. I am right there with you. That is why I have been researching some better ways to meal plan. Not only because I'm tired of having to sit down and, come up with a new meal plan every 2 weeks, but also because I'm craving some consistency and searching for ways to cut costs. And I have finally found some and tried some of these systems out, and now I'm going to share them with you. So go cuddle up with a nice warm drink, get comfy with them babies, and open your heart to God as we head into today's episode. Do you find it hard to save or get out of debt? Are you constantly searching for ways to save money and live on a budget? Do you have big dreams only to be stopped by not sticking to your budget? Are you ready for financial freedom? Then you, mama, are in the right place. Welcome to the One Income Family podcast, where you will learn what it looks like to budget on one income, how to partner with God in your finances, how to budget in a way that's easy to stick to, and how to cut costs and save money, all so that you can start building wealth. It is my mission to equip you with these tools so that you can live in abundance regardless of the amount in your account. Hey, I'm Molly, a budget coach for stay-at-home moms, and I know what it's like to struggle on one income. I've lived paycheck to paycheck, relied on being frugal, and failed many budgets until I learned how to budget without tracking. This has allowed my family to pay off debt and build wealth all on one income. So, if you are ready for financial freedom, then go grab that stroller, plug in those headphones, and let's get to it. Are you living paycheck to paycheck and you are just sick of the inconsistency? I was you. We lived the dreaded paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. We paid bills first, which left us with inconsistent amounts each pay period to put towards any and everything else. It was hard to track, it was hard to save, and budgeting, simply put, was a nightmare. That is what I don't want you to have to deal with any longer. It's time to get out of the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle that you are living in. It's time to be able to start saving money and working with consistent amounts each time you go to budget, even if your income is inconsistent. It's time to book a budget audit so that you can achieve the financial peace that you, my friends, are looking for. And all you have to do is email me at mollybennell@gmail.com with the subject line budget audit so that we can figure out the steps you need to take to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Again, email me at mollybennell@gmail.com with the subject line budget audit. Alrighty, so I have been searching for a way to start bulk buying for a while now. It's a process that I really wanted to get into, but I just couldn't figure out how to do it with my current meal planning system, which I love, by the way. And if you're a beginner to meal planning, it is a great way to start. So definitely go check out those episodes. I will have them in the show notes. But the way that I currently meal plan, it's hard to figure out how to bulk buy your groceries, right? And that is a big way to cut costs, especially if you are trying to buy the more healthier varieties of food, right? And it's just an easier way, I think, to grocery shop. Now, that doesn't mean that it's an easier way to actually meal plan and stuff like that. And so I was trying to figure out a simple way to do both things. And I have been researching and I have been looking, and I am super excited to say that I think I finally figured it out. And I'm super excited to share it with you because I know a lot of you have shared some interest in learning how to start bulk buying. And this is how you can start meal planning so that you can bulk buy. And I'm super excited to share it with you. So why don't we dive into the first thing that I want to share with you? There are 3 things that you do in order to bulk buy, right? Which, bulk buying is the third way, but there are 3 ways. I should go back to my title, right? And what my title is called, but that's 3 ways to simplify your meal plans so that you can cut costs, right? And bulk buying is essentially like the end all be all for this system. So I'm super excited to share that with you. So the first thing before we can get into actually bulk buying is to create a seasonal monthly meal planning rotation. Now, I have been trying to figure out a seasonal meal plan rotation for a while now, and I just couldn't figure anything out because I'm somebody who likes to have variety. I'm trying to figure out what my kids like because I swear everything I make, they do not like. There's always something, like even my husband, oh, you made it this way? I swear you like to make it this way all the time. And I know he's not trying to hurt my feelings or anything, but in all reality, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to make that anymore because obviously they don't like it, right? And so I'm trying to find something that I could do that's consistent and is something that they like is hard. And that's another thing is I struggled with like the whole meal planning way of having categories, right? Where on this day you eat tacos and on this day you eat something else, right? Like Taco Tuesday or crock pot Saturdays, those kind of meal planning systems I struggled with because I liked too much variety. I love to cook. I love to find new meal plans. And I think that is why my old meal planning system was just a struggle for me because I was making it so complicated. So if you are listening to this and you go back and you want to do my old meal planning system, it is a great way to start, but remember consistency is key. So maybe take my second step and add it to what you learned for my last meal planning episodes, because it's going to make things so much simpler and less overwhelming, because that's what I've been dealing with is the overwhelm. Like I even stopped meal planning for, I don't know, maybe 6 months sort of, and just like bought things on the fly, and my kids and my husband just had to deal with whatever I came up with, which then I was struggling with like decision fatigue and having to go, okay, well, what am I going to make now? What am I going to make now? I have all these groceries, but I don't know what to make. And having that already made up for me was the thing that like saved my mind and my overwhelm. And that's what I loved about my meal planning system. It wasn't just about knowing what I needed to buy grocery wise. It was also about keeping things simple and easy when it came to getting ready to cook. I wasn't wondering what I was going to make. I knew what I was going to make, and it made it simple. I just pulled the meat out and I started cooking, right? And so from that point, I want to continue that into this. That's why I have a seasonal monthly meal planning rotation. So I'm saying seasonal so that you buy produce in season, right? Because when you buy it in season, it's cheaper than when you buy it out of season because it costs more to produce it. The second reason I'm saying a seasonal monthly meal planning rotation is it gives you variety, the variety that I crave, like wanting to create a new system, but it gives me enough consistency that I'm not recreating the wheel every single grocery haul, which is what I was doing. So every 2 weeks, I was doing something new and something new and something new. And yes, I love to do that, but it just became overwhelming and too much. Like I would sit down and take darn near 2 hours to create only the meal plan, because I was searching and searching and searching and searching and searching to find something new to make. Now, if that's something that you want to do and that's one of the categories you want to have, like maybe a Friday question mark category so you can go out and search and find something new that you want to try out, then have at it. Make that be one of your categories. But in this specific meal planning system, I'm just talking about making a monthly meal plan that you do every single month for 3 months in a row, and then you change it out when the produce changes, right? So that means you can create like a whole year plan if you want to at one time, which is 4 months worth of different meals so that you have that already created. Or you can let it slowly add up and be like, okay, hey, this is a meal that I found. Let's add it to my meal planning system, right? And so that is a simple way of doing that. It keeps it from being overwhelming, or you can just do it like a quarter at a time. All right, it's a new quarter, time to change up the meal plan. What did I like about this? What didn't I like about this? Like, definitely look into it and see what worked for you and your family and what didn't work. What was more overwhelming? What, like, at a season, I would like to implement more crock pot meals, or I should say instant pot meals, because I feel like I'd be able to stay on time with getting the kids to bed and getting myself to bed. But at the same time, I struggle to remember to pull out my meat so that I can do that, right? Because you don't just start cooking your crock pot meal or your instant pot meal at 5 o'clock when you want to eat at 6 o'clock, right? You got to start it much sooner in the day. And so remembering to do that was a struggle for me. And if that's something that you're struggling with right now, then don't do that. Find 30-minute meals that you can do, right? This is all about simplicity. It's all about making things consistent and easy, right? So start with that meal planning system where it's monthly, but it's quarterly, right? It's seasonal. It's every 3 months you're changing up the meal plan instead of every single month. Okay, so then the next thing, which I've kind of already touched on to continue this system, is adding in weekly meal rotations. Now, you can do this for breakfast, you can do it for lunch, you can do it for snacks, you can do it for dinner. I personally have only done this for lunch and dinner or supper, whatever you call it, because that's what I thought needed the rotations. And now that I've been into that system for a few weeks now, I'm just like, okay, I wish I had one for breakfast, because then I could just look at the list and say, this is what I'm making, instead of go, okay, what do I have the groceries for? What do I need to make this time? What am I out of? Can I make that? Can I not make it? No, my brain hurts. I don't want to make those decisions. I want a plan that I can look at and make. I want it to be consistent. I want it to have variety, so I'm not eating the same thing every single day, even though I could, but I think my kids get tired of it. I want to know what I can eat for a snack instead of question, what again do I have that I can eat? I don't want to have to do that every single day, every single meal plan or meal time. I want to be able to sit down, look at the plan, say, this is what I'm making. If I need to change it up, I'll do it the next season, right? When I change things up. Now, for breakfast, lunch, and snacks, it's probably going to be the same thing weekly instead of like what could be different for dinner, because with it, when it comes to breakfast, lunch, and snacks, it's just like we do the same thing every single week. It doesn't really change up. Now, I could change it up if I want to, but those ones I want to keep more consistent and simple. Like, I was the one where we would have the same lunch every 2 weeks, and then, or for 2 weeks, and then maybe when I made a new meal plan, I would come up with a new lunch if we were tired of the same lunch we were having. Now I'm trying something different where I'm giving myself variety throughout the week, buying more ingredients but less ingredients at the same time, and it's definitely cost effective, it's simpler on my brain, and it is so much easier to like get the kids on board, because they're not like, oh, I don't want to have that again. Like they're excited. Ooh, we're having pizza today. Ooh, we're having pigs in a blanket today. Ooh, we're having quesadillas today. I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be as simple or as in-depth as you want it to be. And that is what I suggest for you, is making it simple, but making it good, right? That is something that you can have a 3-ingredient meal, but if you don't make it taste good, you don't want to eat it. If it doesn't fill you up, if it's not something that you actually enjoy, then you're not going to want to eat it, right? You're not going to be excited to eat it. And this is all about creating excitement around what you eat. Okay, so then when it comes to dinner, this is what I'm talking about, where we bring in the categories, because I still like some variety, and I have different meats that I buy from people instead of from the store. So I have fresh beef and I have fresh pork. I would like to do the same with chicken one of these days, but as for right now, it's beef and pork. And so I have to rotate those out. So instead of saying like every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday, now, yes, that is one of my categories because it's simple, quick, and easy to make. But Tuesdays are my Taco Tuesdays. Now I could have that in a nacho form. I could have that as actual tacos, or I could do like what I did last night, which is a nacho form, but instead of chips, it was with potatoes. And it was really good. And I think my girls actually really enjoyed it. So I'm like, well, maybe I do that more often because I don't feel like they like the actual tacos. So we might stick with the nacho form for a while until they get tired of it, right? And then we'll change it up. But again, the next season, I could change it and not have Taco Tuesday. I could do something different, right? But right now, that was one of the categories that I'm like, this is simple, easy, like 10 minutes, make it up, I'm done kind of thing. So then the next category, and I wish I had my planner up here. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what these are. But I have sheet pan meals. And so there's variety in that, right? I can have steak sheet pan meal. I can have chicken sheet pan meal. I could have pork as a sheet pan meal. Like that is a lot of variety right there. I could change it up. I could have it with potatoes. I could have it with rice. I could have it with sweet potatoes. Like there's variety in that. I don't have to have it the same every single time. And then what's another one of my categories? I'm trying to think here, but my brain, yeah, it's not working. But you could do the same with like a crock pot meal. Let's talk about that because I mentioned that earlier. You could do the same with the crock pot meal. You could be like, okay, what do I want to do that's simple, that's easy? One of the things that I do in that situation is like a, what's it called? A roast. Roast with potatoes and carrots. That's something that we really enjoy. Pot roast. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. I could do that with beef. I can do that with my pork steak, or not steaks, my pork roasts that I have as well. I could do that with a full chicken if I wanted to, right? And change up the vegetable. Maybe instead of a carrot, I do broccoli, or if you're a Brussels sprout person, maybe that would be something that you could add in there. You can change things up and have a little bit of variety without being overwhelmed by it, right? And that is what I'm wanting for you. I'm wanting it to be simple. I'm wanting it to be easy for you so that you're not having to constantly be making decisions every single day. Now with the crock pot meals, you got to remember to pull the meat out probably the day before, which is something I'm struggling with and I need to start remembering, and maybe just get in the habit of every night pulling out meat for the next day, right? And so that's just something that I need to work on. But the system itself in this rotations is a game changer. It makes things so much more simple and takes the guesswork out. Like that is the part that I'm like really craving right now, is just having the decisions made for me and just looking at a piece of paper saying this is what we're having, and I start making it, right? Instead of going, okay, what am I having? Do I have the ingredients for that? Do I have the ingredients for that? Should I make this? Are the kids gonna like this? No, I just look at a piece of paper and I make it. I've already made those decisions and I've got my answer right here in front of me. And that is my saving grace. Now, you can do this without, adding the bulk buying system, but that is the next step in this, is adding in the bulk buying. Now, to make it cost effective, in these things that I am suggesting in your weekly meal rotations, I suggest doing like a 3-ingredient meal. That's going to be cost effective because it's not going to be like you trying to buy a whole bunch of different ingredients, right? You can just do 3 ingredients per meal, and then you can get consistent on your ingredients because you are doing the same thing every single week for 3 months in a row. and you can start buying in bulk. You can buy whatever those 3 ingredients are consistently every single month. Figure out how much you need to cover an entire month, and you buy maybe chicken for an entire month for your first week of buying groceries, right? If you do it weekly. I do it bi-weekly. So for my first month, I'd probably focus on my first bi-weekly grocery haul. That's what I'm trying to spit out. I would probably focus on my freezer items. So I'd get my chicken, I'd get my meats, I'd get my frozen vegetables if that's something that I want to do. And then the next week or the next 2 weeks probably focus on my dry ingredients. And then on both of those weeks, because produce only lasts roughly 2 weeks, I would also get my produce during both of those times, right? So that's how I would split that up. That's how I would be able to cover all of that and try to do it in a whole month. I would love to get a system figured out where I am buying all of my groceries on one day in the entire month. I would love to be able to do that, but I haven't figured that out yet. That's going to be cost effective in the sense that I'm not going to be tempted when I go to the grocery store every 2 weeks, or if it's for you, it may be weekly, right? It's going to be so much simpler and less tempting because I'm not going to the store going, ooh, look at that. That's pretty. Maybe I should buy that. Ooh, that looks yummy. Let's buy that. No, I'm going to be, here's my list. I buy everything. I get in, I get out. And that's what I do every 2 weeks, right? So I only go twice a month, but it's still, that's more temptation in my life than if I go weekly or once a month, which if I get to that point, I'll let you know. But as of right now, that is how I am currently meal planning. I'm doing it seasonally, and I'm doing it with weekly meal rotations for lunch, for breakfast, for snacks, for dinner, so that there is variety. I'm not getting sick of it, but at the same time, I'm able to stay consistent, have everything be simple so that I can bulk buy, and I can do it in 3 ingredients, maybe 5 ingredients max per meal. And it's going to cut back the cost. It's going to make things simple in a sense of making it, because I'm not trying to throw 50,000 different ingredients in there. Now, I do want to say that I'm not including seasonings in my 3 ingredients. I'm just including like the big main meals, right? Like my meat, my vegetable, my side. That is what I'm talking about. I'm not including my seasonings. So there might be 5 ingredients because maybe you want to add some cheese to it or something of that sort, right? But it makes it simple instead of trying to do 50,000 different things, because some of the meals out there that look so good, there's like 50 steps to making a meal. And that is just not something that I can do in the season that I'm in. And so this system just makes it so simple, so easy, straight to the point, gets it done in a short amount of time, less decision making, like cost effective, because I'm not putting a whole bunch of money into buying all these different things. And I can do it in bulk. I can buy these healthy ingredients that I want to eat in bulk, instead of having to go, okay, well, this bag of, I don't know, whatever healthy item you want to think of is like $6. When you buy it at Walmart, it's like $2. But if you buy it in bulk, it can be a lot less, right? And so that is something that I wanted to just really share with you. And this is how you can get started in it. I suggest starting out slowly. So start with the monthly meal plan with the weekly rotations first, and try to find 3 ingredient meals to add into it so that you can be cost effective. And then from there, start slowly adding in and figuring out what your bulk items are so that you can start buying in bulk, right? That is the goal here. Okay, so with that being said, this is something that if you would like some help with, I can definitely help you with it. But if you are looking for a simple way to budget that's like the same way, it's not overwhelming, it's simple, it's straight to the point, you have consistent numbers, and you're ready to just like live in that simplicity and that consistency, then hop on over and grab a budget audit, because that is where I can share with you what those systems are. Now, I've shared with you what they are in the podcast, but if you would like a little more like one-on-one and to figure out how it would specifically work for you, like a customized budget, that is what you're going to get on a budget audit. You're going to see the systems and how they're going to work specifically for you and really master the things that you are struggling with, right? So if that's something that you would like and you would love more information, jump over and shoot me an email at mollybennell@gmail.com. So that is MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL@gmail.com, and put the subject line budget audit there so that I know that's what you're searching for, right? Okay, so with that being said, I pray that this episode has really opened your eyes to a new way of meal planning and a system that is simpler and consistent and cost effective, right? And with that being said, I will see you right back here next week on another episode of the One Income Family Podcast. Before you go, I hope this episode has ignited a fire inside of you, and I pray that it creates long-lasting impact. Did you know that you too can impact other one-income families? All you have to do is leave a written review, and you help get the podcast in the hands of other mamas in need. You can also text this episode to that friend who is also knee-deep in the same kind of chaos as you and inspire them to make a change. Also, your review lets me know that you're enjoying the show, and that lights me up. I get so excited to hear from you. Another great way that we can connect, though, is through the One Income Family community over on Facebook. So after you're done leaving that 5-star review, head on over to the community where you will find other mamas working their way out of the chaos. You can ask your questions and connect with others who truly understand what you are going through. I cannot wait to connect with you in the community. Until then, I will see you right here next week on another episode of the One Income Family Podcast.